man, physical media man, physical media man. What'd you buy? Was it something good?
What's up, guys? Physical Media Man back here again for another either Physical Media Man Monday or bonus video. I'm not sure which. We got the January monthly movie reviews, where I'm going to go over all the movies that we watched in January. As you can tell, I'm back in the original filming location, just switching it up for this video. So before I get started, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, leave feedback, do all that good stuff down below. I'll leave the links to my Instagram, my Physical Media Man store Instagram, where you can purchase media related items from me, as well as my Facebook page for the Physical Media Man / Physical Media Man store, my Facebook page for non-media related items that I'm going to be selling, the Hodgepodge Garage, and also my eBay, my Twitter, my email, and my Film Aficionado page where you can follow along with my collection, which is not yet up to date, and also my wish list of movies I'm after. So I think that's basically it. So these are all the movies we watched in the month of January, as well as a couple that I either didn't have about knocked them all over, did not have the case for. Well, I have the case, it's just, I don't know, it's somewhere. And then a couple we saw in the movie theater. So first, on January 1st, we watched I Feel Pretty with Amy Schumer. Picked this up, Black Friday sale. My wife and I both enjoyed Trainwreck, and I don't know, decided to give this one a try. It was only $4. Actually had a broken case, so they sent a new one. So, and of course the other one didn't have a slipcover, so I have this kind of damaged slip. Anyways, it's basically like Shallow Hal kind of type of deal. She's very self-conscious of the way she looks, and she works for this like beauty product company, and she something happens where she's going to this like spinning class and hits her head, and then she wakes up and she thinks she's this great beautiful woman, so she starts acting differently, and that changes the way people act towards her, and then she finally realizes that nothing really changed. But anyways, it was okay, not awful, but giving it a C-. Next up, we finished Sports Night, the TV show. This is only 2 seasons, but it won some awards, and it's very good. Great cast. It's about this sports TV show, kind of like a ESPN Sports Center type of thing, but it follows along with the on-air the on-air personas, Dan Rydell and Casey McCall. Is that right? Yeah, Dan Rydell, Casey McCall. Yep, that's right. And then also the producer and all the other people that work on the show, and it just kind of follows along with them. Really enjoyed this, giving it an A. Highly recommend it. It's kind of hard to find. This was $29.99, but we got it 50% off, so it was only $15. Definitely worth it for that. So yeah, it's a 3-time Emmy award-winning series. Yeah, so it's got Peter Krause from 6 Feet Under, Josh Charles from Dead Poets Society, and Felicity Huffman from Magnolia. So yeah, it's a dramedy, it says. It's very good. I highly recommend it. Next up, we watched Justice League, which is, of course, DC superhero movie with all the or at least a lot of the main characters coming together to fight a bad person. So yeah, of course they set this up with a Batman vs Superman movie, as well as a Wonder Woman movie, and recently Aquaman came out, which I've not yet watched. So yeah, don't really know what to say too much about this. It wasn't as bad as what I'd heard it was. Enjoyed it. Would definitely watch it again. I really enjoyed Wonder Woman. I thought Ben Affleck did a good job as Batman as well. The cast is pretty well done. I don't know, just the story wasn't as good as it could have been, I guess. I'm giving this one a B-. Next up is The Place Beyond the Pines, starring Ryan Gosling, Bradley Cooper, and Eva Mendes. This one is it mainly follows Ryan Gosling, who works at a circus, and he rides like this dirt bike and does tricks and stuff. And he likes Eva Mendes, and you find out that they have a kid together that he didn't realize. So he tries to stay in the town instead of going with the circus everywhere. It's almost split into two movies. So anyways, Ryan Gosling's character starts to try to rob banks, and then Bradley Cooper's character is a cop, but he also went to law school, and the story kind of comes together, and it's basically almost two movies, very different, especially how the way they did this movie. Thought the storytelling was very good. Giving this one a B, and I recommend it. Next up, we watched Game Night. This follows the story of Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams' characters. They are married, very competitive, love games, and they have these game nights with their friends. Well, their brother decides to throw this game night party, and things turn out to be realistic and real, and not really a game. So they're trying to figure out everything and survive. So this one's funny, but somewhat serious at points, but very enjoyable. Giving this one a B as well. Next up, based on a true story, we got Jonah Hill and Miles Teller starring in War Dogs. I'm going to start reading. I feel like I'm not doing as well. So they're friends in the early 20s, living in Miami Beach during the Iraq War. And they exploit a little-known government initiative that allows smaller businesses to bid on U.S. military contracts. Starting small, they begin raking in big money and living the high life. But the two get in over their heads when they land a $300 million deal to arm the Afghan military. A deal that puts them in business with some very shady people, including the U.S. government. So yeah, really enjoyed this one. Based on a true story. Thought the acting was phenomenal. The story is very enjoyable, and the way they told it was very enjoyable. So giving this one a B+ and highly recommend. Next up, we watched The Office Season 1. I really enjoy this show. I know some people don't. I know a lot of people that do as well. So this just basically takes place at a paper company that's somewhat going out of business, or they're in turmoil, and it just follows the workers and their boss, Michael Scott. I love this show. My wife had never really watched it, or only seen a few episodes here and there. So we've already watched the first two seasons. This one's probably one of the weaker ones, but it was better than I remembered. It's only 6 episodes. It kind of introduces you to the characters, which is kind of, it has to happen. So I think that it's not one of the better ones, but without this season, the other ones aren't as good as they are. There are some funny episodes. I don't know if there are any really that come to mind, but I'm giving it a B-. If you want to watch the show, I recommend at least watching it, because the other seasons won't make as much sense without this one. So it's good. It's not as bad as I remembered. Of course, I think when I was in college, I watched it in one night. We just watched all 6 episodes in a row. But it's very good. Next up, we watched a comedy that my wife hadn't seen and I hadn't watched in a long time. We got Ryan Reynolds in Waiting, and this follows a group of workers that work in a restaurant chain, and just kind of maybe 2 days at this, one basically day at this restaurant. And Ryan Reynolds and Justin Long are servers along with some other people. It's got a very good cast: Luis Guzman, Dane Cook, Anna Faris, John Francis Daly, who until we rewatched it, I didn't realize he was in Freaks and Geeks. He's like the main guy, and some other people. But very funny movie. And this is the unrated version. I'm giving it, where's it at? A B as well. Very good comedy. Next up, we also watched the 30 for 30 on the last days of night. Big IU fans, as you can tell from the Bob Knight painting behind me. Giving this one a C. I love the 30 for 30 series. I just thought, like my buddy brought this up, viewer and friend Cody, thought it was an excellent point. It seemed like they almost did too much on the director's story, like how it affected him and how he came about. Of course, he was kind of the one that helped break the story. So, I mean, some of it was necessary, but it seemed like they could have done it a lot better than the way they did. And it focused too much on him versus the players and Coach Knight. So it just seemed lacking compared to the other 30 for 30s that we've watched, and we normally always enjoy them. And I did enjoy it. It just wasn't as good, so I'm giving it a C. Okay. And also, one I don't have the case for, we watched Unbreakable, the M. Night Shyamalan. His one of his better movies, if not one of the best, starring Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, and it follows Bruce Willis, and he comes in contact with Samuel L. Jackson. It's hard to tell much about this movie without ruining it, but it's somewhat of a superhero origin story. Very good film. Highly recommend it. Gave it an A-. And then we watched Waiting, and then we watched Split after that. And this is also directed by M. Night Shyamalan. M. Night Shyamalan. What was wrong with me? M. Night Shyamalan. M. Night Shyamalan. Starring James McAvoy. And he has some sort of, I don't know what it's, DIS or something. He has 23 personalities, and through Kevin, he revealed it to his psychiatrist. There remains one still submerged who is set to materialize and dominate all the others. Compelled to abduct 3 teenagers, Kevin reaches a war for survival among all those contained within him, as well as everyone around him, as the walls between his compartments shatter apart. So, really enjoyed this. This is the second time watch for me. I'd seen it in the theater with my buddy Jake, and my wife had not seen it. She didn't really want to at the time, but then we ended up watching it. She enjoyed it as well. I'm giving it a B as well. Thought James McAvoy's performance in this was fantastic. Okay, so next up, we watched Fandango. Picked this one up from Down to Movie, the Rickster. Hard to find, so I was really happy when I picked this up. It's a coming of age story with Kevin Costner in it. The other character, Judd Nelson as well. Sorry, forgot about him. So they're all like in this fraternity, and it's right around the Vietnam War. and some of them get drafted and have to go. So this is like before they're going. So they like have this one last hurrah. Was disappointed in it. It's got a pretty decent IMDb rating. I thought the acting was just I think one of the better characters was not a cameo, but just a small part. The plane driver pilot. So I don't know. It just wasn't as good as I hoped, but very happy to add to the Kevin Costner collection. Giving it a C-. Next up, we watched Roman J. Israel Esquire, starring Denzel Washington. He's a lawyer that does like he's a defense attorney. He basically doesn't do it as much for the money. He does it to help people. So when his partner passes away, he's in financial trouble somewhat, and he doesn't know what to do. So it says he stars as a driven, idealistic defense attorney whose life is suddenly disrupted. When he's recruited to join a firm led by ambitious lawyer George Pierce, played by Colin Farrell, he begins a friendship with a young champion for equal rights. A turbulent series of events ensues which will put the activism that has defined Roman's career to the test. I thought this was very good. Not as good as I had hoped. I thought it could have been done somewhat better. It just kind of got boring at times. I'm giving it a C+, but I thought Denzel did a good job in it, as he always does. So happy to add that to the Denzel collection. Next up, we got XXX Return of Xander Cage, starring Vin Diesel. This takes point probably, I don't know, 10 years maybe after the first one. And everyone thinks that Xander's dead. But Samuel L. Jackson's character at the very beginning, he is killed / pronounced dead. And they bring Xander out of hiding to do this, to find out who took this piece of equipment that is threatening the world. It also stars some other people, Donnie Yen, Chris Wu, Toni Collette, Samuel L. Jackson. Cheesy, entertaining, not a very good movie though. Not near as good as the original. Giving this one a C. Next up, we watched Say Anything with John Cusack. First time watch for both of us. Really enjoyed this one. It follows two recent high school graduates. One's basically the valedictorian of the class, and the other one doesn't know what he wants to do, but he's in love with the valedictorian, who isn't very social, and her dad is very manipulative of her life, basically. It was also directed by Cameron Crowe, so also stars the dad from Frasier. Rom-com, really enjoyed it, better than I thought it was going to be. Of course, everyone knows the iconic scene here where he's holding the boombox over his head, but really enjoyed it, giving this one a B+, highly recommend. Next up, we watched Murder on the Orient Express. This is a remake, directed and starring Kenneth Branagh. First up, I highly recommend, and someone told me to do this too. I'll try to leave a link to your page or something if I can, if I remember, because you commented on when I posted I was watching it to turn on subtitles, and I had actually just done so about 20 minutes in, because he's very hard to understand, and it definitely made the movie better, being able to understand him, and some of the other characters even are hard to understand. So it's got him, Penelope Cruz, William Dafoe, Judi Dench, Johnny Depp, Josh Gad, Leslie Odom Jr., Michelle Pfeiffer, and Daisy Ridley. So very good cast. So Kenneth Branagh plays a detective, and he just finished wrapping up a case. He gets on this train to wherever else he was going, I don't remember, and a murder happens on the train, and they get hit off the track, so they're stopped, and he tries to figure out who murdered the person that was on the train that was murdered. So I thought it could have been better somewhat. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I would definitely watch it again, but I'm giving it a B. Next up, we watched The Office Season 2. I watched Sean Chandler Talks Movies with us, or Sean Chandler Talks Movies. I'll leave the link to his channel down below. He does great reviews. He's really good at it. He's a lot better than me. He did top 10 seasons of The Office, and he also did top 10 episodes maybe. And Season 2 was ranked #1 on his top 10 seasons of The Office, and I can definitely see why. There's a ton of great episodes on this season, some of the better ones. So I'm giving this an A. Definitely recommend. I'm not going to explain what it's about because I already did on the first season. But yeah, this one's one of the better ones. I highly recommend it. Giving it an A. Next up, we watched the original Death Wish starring Charles Bronson. It follows Charles Bronson's character, who is an architect, and he just gets back from a trip from Hawaii with his wife, and he's at work, and his wife and daughter go shopping at this grocery store, and these muggers follow them back to their house and rape and kill they do one to one and one to the other. They rape the daughter and kill the mother, and so Charles Bronson doesn't know what to do. The police aren't figuring anything out, and he just keeps running into these muggers everywhere. I don't know if he just going to the wrong part of town or what's going on, but he just keeps running into them. So he goes to Arizona or somewhere and sees this like Western show, gets the idea to take matters into his own hands. So this is quite a bit different than the remake. I enjoyed both. This is probably done better. I'll have to check out the other. I know there's 5 of the original movies, and then the remake, of course, with Bruce Willis, which I watched in the movie theater and enjoyed, but I hadn't seen this, so that could have changed maybe how I felt about it, but I enjoyed both. Definitely recommend this one, though. Okay, and then lastly that I have here in my hands is Scenes from a Mall, starring Woody Allen and Bette Midler. Bette Midler plays a psychiatrist, and Woody Allen plays a lawyer. They're married for 17 years. They're getting ready to have a party. I don't know if it's to celebrate that or what. But anyways, they go to Beverly Hills shopping center to get a few things. And Woody Allen announces to her that he's been having an affair. And then Bette Midler goes crazy. And then she says that she's having an affair. Does it say that? Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Basically ruined the movie, but I gave it an F. It was garbage. Garbage. Hated it. I just thought it was boring, silly. I don't know. Just could not stand it. And then lastly, I don't think I'm missing anything else. My wife and I met my buddy and viewer Corey in a nearby town, and we went and watched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the animated movie. Absolutely loved it. Thought it was really done well. Story was different, so it was animated, and they did a really cool job of like making it comic book style kind of, but the picture quality was still really, I mean, it was really cool how they did it. I don't know how to explain it exactly. I thought all the voices of the different Spider-Mans was really cool. And the story was really done well. The music that went along with it was done really well. I'm giving it an A as well, and highly recommend. So out of all those, I definitely recommend, or recommend the most, Place Beyond the Pines, Game Night, War Dogs, Unbreakable, Say Anything, The Office Season 2, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. But yeah, we also watched Glass, which follows Samuel L. Jackson's character, as well as Bruce Willis and James McAvoy's characters from the previous movies, directed by M. Night Shyamalan. M. Night Shyamalan. Why can I not say his name correctly? Anyways, I didn't think it was as good as the other two movies. I thought it was good, though. The third act, which a lot of people complain about, I didn't like either. Thought it could have been done better, but oh well. I enjoyed it still. I'm looking forward to adding it to the collection. I don't know what I'm going to do because I have Unbreakable on DVD, split on Blu-ray, so we'll see what I end up doing there. But enjoyed it. I'd give it probably a B minus or C plus. It just could have been better. So that's everything we watched during the month of January. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll hopefully continue to improve at these movie reviews, and hopefully I'll learn how to say M. Night Shyamalan's name correctly. So that's everything I got, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. This is Physical Media Man signing off. Physical Media will never die.
Physical Media Man. Physical Media Man. Physical Media Man. Yeah!